What is going on, everyone? We are back with another music reaction. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
And together we are
HellaDepraved.
Let me
You okay?
clear my throat. Super excited. So, Massive Man, in his live, had said that he dropped this song. Now, I actually seen it probably about 5 minutes before
he mentioned it.
So, here's what happened. You texted me and said, hey, Mass is live.
Right.
But you didn't specify where.
Oh.
So
whoops.
immediately I went to YouTube because I was even thinking to myself, I was like, why would I not get a notification? I've got notifications on for Mass.
I mean, fair enough.
And when I went to Mass's YouTube page, I had seen this song pop up. And I was like, oh, he dropped a new song yesterday with somebody.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, wait, he's not live on YouTube. She probably meant Facebook. So then that's when I went to a Facebook. And there we were.
Right. There you found yourself.
Yes.
Right.
But yeah, so he's dropped this song with Kid. I've never heard Kid before.
I don't think
But a lot of people in the Facebook chat seem to have known who Kid was.
Right.
And obviously the guy's got to be talented if Mass has worked with him.
I feel like we should have known. I've seen his name pop up before.
I've seen the name pop up, but
so
I've never listened.
It's not unfamiliar. I feel like maybe we have, but not by himself.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. Regardless, I'm super stoked for this. Obviously, Massive Man is my all-around favorite independent artist.
Right.
And he's on a song with this guy named Kid, who we get to find out what he sounds like.
I'm sure it's fine.
We're going to react to this if you guys have already seen it. If not, click the link in the description below. Hop on over to All Things Coming Back. And that's our commentary, reaction, breakdown, comedy channel. And what that means is we will pause for whatever we feel like pausing for.
Pretty much.
It is time to slash and up, break it down. This is Kid, Massive Man, with Pass On By. Let's get it. Ooh.
They say the struggle and pain that you feel every day let you know you're alive. Well, how could that be? Cause physically I'm here, but I'm dead inside. I wake up every day and get rushed by anxiety. Why even try? And since I'm a man, there's nobody to go to, so now you know that I can't cry. And now it's just me again, feeling like I...
Ah!
His voice sounds so familiar. Like, I really feel like I should remember where I've heard him before.
I need people from this generation that are struggling with these things to shape the next generation. And what I mean is we as guys have got to stop telling our kids
men don't cry.
That men don't cry.
Right.
Got to.
I do think the movement is working.
Right.
But I also think that we, need to come from the other side and realize that women aren't overly emotional about some things.
Right.
Yeah, it's just passing the torch on correctly and logically instead of superstitiously.
Because
stereotypically might be a better word.
Well, and here's the thing. I know, like, you and I have talked. You don't cry often anymore.
Never really have, though.
I'm a bitch, so I do.
He said it, not me.
What is whatever.
But and that's strictly speaking not true either.
To be honest, when down, crying is a release
for some people. Now I won't argue it for sure because it is release and that's what it's there for. Unfortunately, it just ends up complicating more things for me in terms of the migraine I get and the burn on my face. I also don't think at some point I lost the ability to do so unless, of course, my allergies are acting up. I'm sorry, guys. As I'm in the process of saying I don't cry, that I'm about to start tearing up here. But I think you kind of reach a certain saturation point, too. But I just don't think it's okay to tell anyone not to cry. I mean, is it going to solve anything in the long run? No, but you do need to release somehow, and then move on.
Right.
You know,
it's a better release than, you know, punching somebody.
Certain cultures go outside and yell and scream.
Right.
And I mean, part of that is crying. So part of it's like yelling in anger. Part of it is
Screaming into their pillows.
absolute keening. Well, I mean, some people bite their pillows too, but
That's a different story.
whatever your kink. But that is part of their culture because they don't believe in keeping everything down.
I'm keeping this to myself.
Wow.
When
Suppression, really?
When you say something and it's bad enough for me to have to keep it inside until after this recording is over,
Right.
it's bad.
Mass elascu later. You know that, right?
Oh, I'll tell him.
Okay.
But I'm not going to throw this publicly.
Broadcast it. Okay.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
Anyways,
I don't think
I
those
love his
cultures
voice, though.
necessarily have it wrong, though. You know, it's okay to mourn. It's okay to be angry. And they do know that suppression is actually poisoning yourself.
Right.
I'm here, but I'm dead inside. I wake up every day and get rushed by anxiety. Why even try? And since I'm a man, there's nobody to go to, so now you know that I can't cry. And now it's just me again, feeling like I can't breathe again. Look at that man, so I'm eating him. Starting to think those smiles are pretense. So I pour my heart to the beats in. Trying to go live on the weekend. Think I'm losing my fucking mind, but I'm trying not to fall off the deep end. It's crazy, cause I thought I had this shit all figured out. But apparently the universe gave me a different route. So I'm back at the drawing board, just trying to write it down. I'm sailing through a perfect storm, just trying to write it out. I say the only thing that scares me is losing to myself. My own worst enemy, I do it to myself. Feel like I've tried everything, but nothing seems to help. So I put on this fake face so nobody can tell. Wake up and put your mask.
I mean, I thought you were maybe making a mask like Michael Myers did in the Halloween remake. And you might, I mean, you had the knife. So, jokes aside, I love his voice.
No, I agree with you. It's clearer than Swag, but it's still got that sort of timber to it. He was saying that fate seems to have deemed him
Put him
on a different road. And I'm like, you know, sometimes it's not the easy road or the hard road. Sometimes it's the really twisted road. And it sort of straddles in between both where, you get just enough hope to poison yourself. Because your entire life isn't on the hard road. So you get just that little bit of hope and think you're ahead. And then...
Now, obviously anybody that comes to watch this is, well, most people are probably not going to, are probably going to not be new to the channel. I'm sure there'll be a couple new people that are, you know, kid fans that might come in. Obviously we've talked about what mental issues we have, like I deal with depression.
Right.
I've come to this point in my life where I've got the right people around me. And there's just days where I'm just going to hate life. That's kind of where I'm at.
Right.
And on the days that I hate life, one of two things happens. If I don't have work...
You hate life just a little bit less.
I sit at home and I spend time with her or play video games.
Right.
Something to take my attention off of it if at all possible. If I have work, I go and drown myself in friends' live streams.
Right.
Ignore the world and give the people that I work with the leave me the fuck alone face, which actually looks like my normal face most of the time. But
which they're kind of inured to at this point. They still come in and interrupt you because it doesn't scare them. Right. Right. Which, you know, they see you for the softie that you really are.
anyways.
Aw. Not so scary.
Help, so I put on this fake face so nobody can tell. Wake up and put your mask on, ayy. Quietly watch as people pass on by. Some days are just a sad song, ayy. Dying to live, but we're just living to die. Wake.
I know people are going to be like, why the fuck are you pausing so much? He says, sit back and watch people pass by.
Right.
I do that anyways.
Oh, yeah.
I am...
People observing is fun.
So goddamn introverted. I had to explain this to somebody that's been working with me now for like 2 months. It was yesterday. I happened to walk by and was just keeping to myself and going to my desk. And she goes, well, fine, don't say hi. And I looked at her and I was like, just to let you know, I'm introverted. Unless I've got something to say, I don't speak unless spoken to. I've been that way my whole life.
Right.
I don't talk to people.
People might find that a little strange.
A lot of people do.
No, I don't mean in terms of not understanding, but like in terms of your personality on camera. I think that's what people are... what the social media age has made harder to understand. Like...
What's funny?
Because I think what they don't see, as much as I say it, I don't leave the house. I think Saturday when we went to Walmart, which we talked to the pharmacist and that was it, was the first time I've left the house in at least a month since the last time I needed my last prescription, if not multiple months.
Well, what's funny about it all is most people that are streamers or artists or whatever are introverts. They don't want to talk to people.
Yeah, but there's different levels of that too, because obviously the artists and stuff, they do have to be adults and collab or have producers or, you know, at least promo their stuff or go shoot music videos elsewhere.
Right.
I don't leave the house. I am that introverted.
I only leave the house for work or special occasions.
Yeah. Those special occasions, you happen to have a few more than I prefer because movies, I mean, I get it. I just would still stay home. But I get what he's saying for sure. I would rather just blend in and watch everybody do their thing anyway.
I love Walmart watching.
I prefer watching from the social media platforms, honestly.
Also true.
But I'm also a lurker there, so there is that.
Ain't dying to live, but we're just living to die. Wake up and put your mask on. Ain't quietly watch as people pass on by. Some days are just a sad song. Ain't dying to live, but we're just living to die.
I struggle to succeed, and help is what I need, cause my life is difficult and not as easy as it seems. People think it's fairy tales, enchanted and extreme, but the media's deceiving, it's a dream and make-believe. I wanna be happy, but I cannot comprehend how. And I hate how my life is, so I try and find a way out. How am I gonna do this when I only feel like I'm useless? An emotional wreck who's only good at making this music. Pain is real and I deal with it. I feel the shit in my bones. And healing, it's impossible when I sit alone in my home. I hate that I fake happiness, I'm mad at myself. The life I live is tragic and it's bad for my health. I fake a smile daily and it's getting hard to do. I have to pick a path, but I don't know which one to choose. Life is like a chess game, I'm scared to make a move, but my time is ticking fast. If I don't pick a path, I lose.
Wake up and put your mask on. Ain't quietly watch as people pass on by. Some days are just a sad song. Ain't dying to live, but we're just living to die. Wake up and put your mask on. Ain't quietly watch as people pass on by. Some days are just a sad song. Ain't dying to live, but we're just living to die.
I definitely liked that beat and instrumental.
So we didn't pause it during, well, I didn't pause it during Masses, because I knew we were towards the end of the song, and we'd paused it a couple times for long conversation. So for those of you that only want to come to just listen to the song,
Right.
you're free to go. We've talked so much about the things Masses rapped about in so many videos.
Right.
And again,
kind of broken across in some full spectrum.
Obviously, we've talked before. Again, I don't know what it's like to have any form of anxiety. I consider myself lucky because I know a lot of people do.
Right.
I'm one of those people I can 100% not talk to anyone hardly ever. But I'm also that same person. I could go out on stage in front of 50,000 people and have a fucking blast. So
Yeah, no.
I don't have that nervous feeling being in public or being around people. Even if I'm the center of attention. I mean, we've talked before. Yes, I'm an introvert. But when I'm around my friends, I want to be
an ambivert.
I want to be center of attention.
And to a certain degree, I'm an ambivert too. However, that's more sort of like survival instinct on my part. Right. When it comes to my close group of friends, do I need to be the center? No. But I have no problem joining the mix and normally being at least the center of where all the dirty humor and jokes are coming from.
Right.
I used to act. I used to sing. Having to do recitals, having to be on stage, singing, dancing, whatever. Didn't really have a problem with that, but if you get me up in front of the class to do a speech on my own, will I do it? Can I do it? Yes. Am I ready to be sick? Yes. I hate it. But I'll do it. I'm probably better prepared than people that are both shy and introverts, because I am not shy. I'm just not an introvert, or like not interested in people company whatsoever. Anxiety I do have though. Like, do I have panic attacks or like the worst forms of anxiety? No. Do I have social anxiety? No. My only anxiety is having to go to social events, which just has more to do with I don't want to. Not that the people are making me nervous. I don't know. I'm just an extreme introvert when it comes to just about everything, except for, like you said, I can play ambivert. I do like the significance of him writing his words on his mask. It's almost daring people to see what he's feeling and what he's saying, even with his mask in place. Because sometimes, no matter how bad you feel, you don't want to burden somebody else by telling them, calling up your friends or whatever. You don't want them to take that on themselves.
I would say that's pretty much where I was going when I had started.
But that fake smile he's talking about, like, it's getting hard to wear. Like, writing his words and his I'm sad being one of the largest things on his mask that he's supposedly going to slip on so that people don't notice how he's feeling inside is almost daring them to see past that fake smile and realize and ask him instead of him having to start up the conversation.
Right. So one of the things, the fake smile thing definitely hits home. Tons of years of my life spent pretending I'm okay.
Yeah. I'm fine.
Like, again, one of my favorite logo shirts, whatever, that people make is the one that usually says I'm okay and there's a space in between, but not is written in the color of whatever the shirt is.
Right.
But one of the things that you always notice with most self-unaliving ceremonies, as we call them here, is most people, it's always, you almost always hear the family talk about, I had no clue. I had no clue they felt this sad.
Right. That it was this bad.
You look at, like, famous people, Robin Williams, Chester Bennington, you could tell was a possibility. But Robin Williams definitely always seemed happy. Every time you seen him in public, on camera, hey, hi, I'm Robin Williams, woo, nanu, whatever.
There was an edge that you saw, yeah.
True.
But did anybody know how deep any of them went, not necessarily.
Right. And so many people, especially people that deal with depression, I don't know how much it is with... I would assume it might be a little harder for people with anxiety because they try not to be around people anyways.
That's social anxiety, not regular, just
Again,
generalized.
I don't even know what anxiety
so,
is. I've never dealt with it.
Think about the adrenaline surge, nervousness you get, like, right before you go on stage to perform something, which, you know, a lot of people tend to, well, that act or whatever tend to kind of enjoy to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So it's that. It's like wasps in your stomach kind of thing. But...
Oh, so it's like being in love.
Yeah. It's icky too. So, no. But it's to a degree that it makes you almost paralyzed. Like, you can't do anything. But it goes along with the thoughts that are racing. Social anxiety is shyness, but to the 1000th degree. It's like you sweat and you start panicking and everything, thinking about getting up and giving your speech to the class. Not even doing it, just thinking about it.
See, I had a completely different problem on why I didn't want to give speeches in front of the class, because 99% of the times I'm like, look, I just got a boner. Now is not the time for me to be standing up to give speeches in front of the class.
Yeah.
It's a guy thing.
I don't even know. I'm like,
every
never
guy
had that
ever will
issue.
tell you the worst thing about being in high school was they always seemed to call on you right when you got a boner, and then you were like,
then maybe you guys should just stop wearing sweatpants.
It's not even sweat,
Anyway.
even with jeans. Like,
No, I meant in terms of like masking degrees of, because you can tell, but not to the point of light gray sweatpants on. I just don't understand. Never mind. It's along those lines. I don't even know how to explain it more than that, except for like the panic that you get over random spiders dropping by mixed with that adrenaline surge would be...
That's just a nope.
That's very close to what they feel, is a great old nope. Along with a lot of adrenaline.
Now, again...
Or maybe when your daughter was bleeding after she pulled the statue down on her
I think I
head.
went into shock for her.
Yeah, but you were anxious because you called their mom flustered and not knowing what to do. Or when you came into the room and you yelled fire because you didn't know what to do and you were sort of... Your eyes were a little bigger than normal, and think of that, but just like in general over...
Look, I somehow lit the stove on fire. I walk in with the fire extinguisher and say, babe, fire. And she's like,
No, he
huh?
came in and he's
Fire.
holding it and he goes, fire. And I was half asleep and he's holding a fire extinguisher. And I'm like, yeah, that's what that's for. I don't know how the word fire in this panic looked on it. I was like smelling for smoke, looking around. I didn't know you were going to fucking burn the dishes down on the stove.
anyways.
Somehow lit the stove on fire, but not the way it's supposed to be lit on fire.
Actually, it started lit the way it was supposed to be lit on fire, and then it expanded.
And then it progressed. Okay.
And that's all because I was apparently one of only 2 people that cleaned that damn stove once every 5-6 months.
Which I would have been the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is at a different place. Anyway, it's something along those lines, but it's something you live with every single day. So when it flares up, some people know their triggers, some people don't necessarily have them. It's just a constant state of being, but it's not a fun way to live. But social anxiety is separate and the same because it is over a specific trigger, which would be socializing.
Yeah, so again, I have no
we've
real clue what that would feel like.
We have now firmly completed that.
Well, so
What is flickering?
I get that momentary butterfly feeling before performing, like not here at home. So I do like karaoke sometimes on Twitch, and I'd have no problem doing that.
But like karaoke on stage.
But like karaoke on stage, I'll have like 30 seconds of, all right, it's about to happen, and as soon as I get the mic in my hand, it's gone. I'm ready to put on a show.
Right.
Let's do this.
Right.
I don't know. I enjoy it. Anyways, where I was going with this whole thing
Is that you're fucked up, and we now all agree.
is the faking a smile for people
Oh.
that I keep trying to
shit.
go back to until we digress ridiculously.
At least we managed to stay somewhat on point.
Right. On off topic. But it's something so many of us learned to do, and we do it. It's so weird how we like self-sabotage ourselves with it, right? Because like you've always got your friends or family like, oh, you can always come to me.
Which is a lie.
But when you do go to them, they either act
Which is a lie.
half interested,
not interested
at all,
way more concerned than you thought they should be.
Yeah. There's like a few
like way
the one want to check you into a hospital, and that's not always even what's
reaction
needed.
Quite more often. Yeah.
So you learn to pretend to be okay, just to usually, well, especially like for me, my big thing is I just didn't want to bother other people with my problems. Like I know they're going through whatever it is they're probably going through in their own lives. The last thing they need on top of that is, oh, my friend, is super depressed and he might off himself, which ain't even the case for me.
Or I didn't want to have to explain everything, so I knew that saying I'm not okay would open the door to, oh, what's wrong, blah, blah, blah. And
me telling you I'm now going to have to relive my own pain that I'm already living with, but
it's kind of like,
verbalizing
it's
going to make it even worse.
No.
Oh, never tell somebody when they're upset, have you tried being happy, have you tried, like, fuck off. Okay, that is not helpful.
I am calm.
Yeah. When I'm not calm, you should be worried.
You'll already be running. It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, I loved Mass's verse. I love kids.
I think you're right about the message that you were talking about with kids first, though, because a lot of the whole cycle could be helped, if not broken, by telling people that their emotions are normal and natural and teaching them how to cope with them in terms of like positive outlets for anger, positive channels for rage, how to properly grieve something, because bottling it up inside and then these false platitudes of everything's going to be okay, you can always lean on me, all of this kind of stuff. Men don't cry. Oh, don't worry about her. She's just a girl. She's overly emotional. All that stuff is just adding to this by making us learn very early on to fake that smile. And then it does turn into a self-sabotaging cycle in which we're not willing to talk it out, which means we don't seek therapy on our own most of the time. We don't want to bother our friends because everybody's dealing with something. We don't have it within ourselves necessarily to help our own selves as much as we could because we're bogged down. And like Matt said, we're disgusted with ourselves, or we hate ourselves, or we're angry at ourselves for reacting the same way or feeling the same way as we always have, no matter what's going right or what is going wrong in our lives, blowing it out of proportion or feeling like we are. But instead of, teaching our children that emotions are natural and you're feeling this way because of something valid, but then how to proceed from there in order to work through the emotions or, like I said, work them out in an appropriate manner, channel the, excess energy, tiredness, change the situation, so on and so forth. Everything we're doing is just basically saying, shut up and smile. Pretend like everything's okay. Fake it till you make it.
In reference to this, I had to look up the full name of it. For those of you that like spoken word poetry, which I absolutely love, I don't listen to way near enough of it. There is a specific one that I like from a guy by the name of Kyle Gwant Tran Myrie. Gwant being a nickname. Or his stage name. It is called 10 Responses to the Phrase Man Up. Go watch that. I'm probably going to make her watch it while we smoke after this.
Right.
But yeah, Fantastic fucking song. You guys killed it. Definitely, if you guys are a fan of Kid, let us know some more things we should check out from him. I absolutely loved what I heard from him. I would love to hear more.
Me too.
And yeah.
I love the style. Yeah.
All right, so if you guys like this video and this ridiculously long conversation, slash that like button, subscribe.
Honestly, anything about mental health is going to be a ridiculously long conversation. So
Especially
if
with
you
us.
are here because of Kid, expect that.
Right. Slash the like button. Comment down below. What did you think of Kid and Massive Man Pass On By? Right. Also, comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see reacted to. Check the description below for all the things. Push the like button.
Yeah, do all the things. Come join us on our other social
There you
media platforms. Mostly Twitter if you want a quicker response.
I said push the like button. I didn't mean to say that.
That's fine.
I meant to say push our buttons.
Whatever.
I was trying to trigger
buttons.
what you were supposed to say.
Yeah, I
in
know
hopes that
of
you'd
it
pick
at
up
this
with
point.
it. We love you guys. Thank you all for watching. Cannot wait to see you to pray people later.